All right, hey, welcome to The Secret Is You. It is going to be a day that I want to sit back and give massive shout outs. And that's, hey, massive shout outs to MLK, Martin Luther King. You know what? Can I tell you? January 18th, we celebrated an amazing day. Not only amazing day because an amazing day because of an amazing person. Let me tell you something. You know, I was sitting there, and as I was getting ready for my rise and grind this week and sitting there thinking about that, you know, I want to sit back and kind of really think about what it was that he was talking about during this time and give a little bit of shout outs on some of the things that, you know, the 10 things that he would really kind of focus on, he would live his life by. And I think it's kind of important for all of us to kind of take a second and understand not only was this an important time of our society and where we were, but think about how Martin Luther King went out there and lived by these principles and lived by the things he did and was able to make and start change. And I think that's an important thing in business. One of the biggest things that he did is he sat back, he said, hey, listen, we have to dare to dream, right? And I think a lot of us sit back and think we have to dream, right? What is dreaming in today's world? Dreaming in today's world is kind of like, it's a nada for most adults. Most adults don't dream anymore. We're like kids. Kids, they dream. Kids, they sit back and they say, I can do anything I want to do. I can build anything I want to build. I can go anywhere I want to go. But somehow as adults, we lose that. We lose that ability to sit back and think, man, I deserve more. I want more. But the one thing I will tell you is that you can have those wants and you can have those desires. But the one thing I will tell you with looking at how Martin Luther King lived his life is that he declared his dream in front of the world. Now, I know a lot of you don't have the microphone and platform that amazing human being did. But you have the platform around your friends, around your family, around other businesses that you can declare what exactly you're trying to go after. You get to understand because dreams serve as a resource of great ideas. For business, it helps us motivate it. It knows where we need to put our efforts to. I think if we don't have dreams and we don't understand it, then we're not going to put effort towards things. We're not going to want to get better. We're not going to want to have progression. We're not going to put effort towards getting and moving ahead in life. And I think that's a hugely important piece. I think we all need to have those dreams. We also got to make sure that we're loving people. That was the other thing that MLK lived by, is making sure that people felt the love. And I think that that is important today. And in the world that we're living in, there's a lot more hate. I think we've seen what's going on at the Capitol building. I think, you know, what is going on in even Ohio yesterday. It's kind of interesting when I see just, you know, some people might call it stupidity, and I call it hate. You know, and I think that there's no room for that, right? If those people that, you know, that sit back and said that they are, you know, all faith-based and all, they're about God and country, then they need to pick up a Bible. Because the last time I checked, it's like, you know, we should love thy neighbor. I mean, that's one of our commandments. That's one of the things that we sit back and talk about. Actually, there was only 2 commandments, by the way, before 10, if anybody knew that, if they went to church. And that's the thing that we have to sit down and talk through, is that we have to love thy neighbor. We have to love the people that, you know, are there. We got to make sure that we're leading with that way. People always ask me all the time, you know, I talk about LC a lot. And people ask me all the time, you're like, you know, how did you understand that your child was a transgender? How did you understand that, you know, how did you just deal with this? And I'm like, look, man, you know, because I understand that love is going to be the thing that's going to lead. If you lead with love and you lead with understanding, you lead with that, that's where the world can really change. And that's where you'll see the wins. That's where you're going to see, because anger and hate's not going to get you anywhere. And some people are just fueled by hate. And I see them not getting what they want in their life, and they sit back and go, why am I not getting there? It's because you never transitioned into your world of love. You never transitioned into wanting to be loved. And I think the same is true. Most people that have that hate in their body haven't figured out that they have to love themselves first before they can experience loving something else or someone else. My mom has always said it, that you have to love yourself first before you love anybody else. And that's exactly the truth. We also think this. One of my best quotes that, you know, favorite quotes from Martin Luther King is that, you know what, if you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But if you, whatever, you just got to keep moving forward. I think that is the truest of the true. And that means you got to fight during, the difficult times. You got to persevere. You got to make sure that you're moving forward. You can't fly, then run. Okay. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But no matter what, we cannot move backwards. We got to continue to keep moving forwards. It's so important. You got to persevere. You got to move forward. You got to move through the pain. Man, nobody likes pain. Nobody. Professional athletes don't like pain. People fighting for calls don't like pain. Nobody likes that. But you got to keep moving forward, or you stop and you give up and you fall short, just like everybody else. And then they sit back and they go, why am I not getting ahead? Why am I not getting where I want to get to? It's because you just basically gave up. Here's the thing. You know what the truth is? The world really needs us to be great. The world needs the greatness inside of us. They really do. There's this unbelievable greatness in each person that's out there. But most people don't want to fight for it. Most people don't want to see it. They don't want to see it through because it hurts. It's tough. That's the issue. I think it's important to sit back and think we have to invest in ourselves, right? You listen to this podcast right now. You're like, you know what? You know why people listen to podcasts? It's because they want to invest in themselves. They want to grow. They want to develop. They want to figure out how to make sure that they are staying sharp, that they're staying on point with their craft. They want to be educated. That's the key. That's exactly what Martin Luther King, you got to educate yourself. You can't sit back and just live in your, and believe everything that you see or believe everything you hear. You've got to make sure that you're out there and you're going out there and you're seeking, you're finding information, you're putting good things into your body. It's hugely important. You also have to understand we have to serve people. If we're leaders, business owners, whatever, if we want to make change in the world, we have to understand it doesn't start with serving ourselves first. It starts with what? It starts with serving others. If somebody comes to your house, right? Do you sit back and you eat first? Do you serve your own plate first? Well, if you had to think about that and the answer was yes, we got problems. You should never be the first person to eat at your house. And if you didn't know that, I'm going to be the person that tells you that. You got to make sure that you're serving others. You got to make sure that that's the same way. If you're a business owner, same thing. You got to make sure that your people are being served first. You're taking care of their needs. You're helping them get through their roadblocks. You're helping them get to where they need to get to. That's the truth. You got to serve others, and you got to forgive stupidity. Now, I know that this is hard for a lot of people. Oh my gosh. But can I tell you something? If anybody showed that you could give and forgive for stupidity, Martin Luther King was one of those people, right? He sat back and said, look, man, we got to make this place better, but we can't sit back and live in the past. We can't sit back and look at all the stuff that has happened. We've got to figure out how to move together. We got to move forward in a better place. And that is by making sure we're not holding grudges. We're not holding things in. We're communicating with each other. That's a huge piece. And forgiveness is one of the greatest gifts that any one human being can give, is forgiveness on a situation, forgiveness on, hey, look, you made a mistake or you weren't educated. I go back to this. Jessica and I lost friends when, we came out and talked about LC, right? Some of you guys have heard that. And about 3 years later, they were like, I don't understand. I can't, like the Bible says, I'm like, okay, whatever. They were basically didn't want to be our friends. It's kind of interesting, this big thing, the big karma in life. I always say it will come back and bite you in the ass sometimes. And they came back and like, hey, listen, they had a niece that was transitioning and asked us for help. And you know what? I could have been like, no, forget you. You didn't understand when my kid was going through it. But like I said, when shit comes close to your home, everybody has the ability to change pretty fast, right? Everybody's like, oh, I can get with that program. But when it's not affecting you, I don't understand that. I don't get it. Man, it doesn't make any sense. Of course it doesn't, because it doesn't affect you. It doesn't affect you at all. But once it gets close, man, things change. And I sat back and told Jessica, and Jessica was upset. And she's like, I can't believe they reached out to us. I'm like, you know what? We're going to forgive their ignorance. We're going to forgive what they went, because at the end of the day, it's not about them. It's about their niece. It's about making sure we actually go out there and we do the one thing that we set out, which is to serve others. And we're going to forgive. Standing up for justice, man. That was the other thing Martin Luther King was all about, was standing up for justice, man. He never wanted to see anybody hurt, never wanted to see anybody, be talked down to, or somebody being, not treated well. I think what this basically means to me is stand up for justice is only not just when you see things going bad, right? Not just seeing when you see something that somebody's, being picked on. I think that should be a no-brainer. I think that should always be something. But also standing up for justice is this: doing the right thing. Doing the right thing, opening a door for somebody, have a nice day to somebody, a nice cordial smile to somebody. Doing the right thing. Doing the right thing. There's too many people today that don't know what right from wrong is. Doing the right thing, again, is leading with love. Doing the right thing is working together. Doing the right thing is helping each other grow. Doing the right thing is going out there and serving and making sure that we are living to make the world a better place in which we found it. We have to have faith. He had faith. He had faith that things were going to change. Has it went all the way? Has everything changed? No, we still got a lot of freaking ass work to do. But one of the things is somebody has to start it and somebody has to continue to carry it and somebody has to have the faith that it's going to get better, right? See, the same thing with pure romance. We chose faith over fear. Some people just get buckled by fear. Some people let fear drive. That's the problem. I think sometimes that you guys know this. Let's not sugarcoat it. We're all grown-ass adults, but I do think that sometimes that the media and people like that want us to fear. They want to have that fear inside of us. Shit, I think some of the politicians love the fact that they lead with fear. Fear from both sides. And that's why we can't get it together. But I have faith. I have faith that it's the small business owners. I have faith that it's the people that are writing checks. It's the faith that we could go out there and we can work together. We can all find a better common ground. The other thing Martin Luther King said, you got to step outside your comfort zone. You guys hear me talk about that all the time. Stepping out of your comfort zone is important. Right? Why is it important? It's because the stepping out of your comfort zone is this. Man, you know what? You can't live comfortable if you don't live uncomfortable. I know that sounds crazy, right? We got to live that uncomfortable lifestyle because that's going to be the comfortability. We got to step out. We got to fight for what we believe is right. We got to go out there and we got to do, and we got to continue to keep pushing and moving forward. I truly believe that most people don't want to get into a debate. They don't want to get into an argument. They don't like it because it's confrontational, but they don't like what's happening either. So are you willing to live with shit? Or are you willing to fight for change, fight for better processes, fight for better policy? That's important because getting outside your comfort zone is hugely important. And getting out of your comfort zone in business is important. Are you willing to fight for that extra dollar? Are you willing to fight for making sure your family has the currency of life, which is choice? Hugely important. The other thing is this: all things are possible. That's what he believed. MLK believed it because he believed everything was possible, but he believed everything was possible if you had these dreams, right? If you understood that the dreams provided you and your business this motivation, this effort to continue to keep moving forward, understanding that we all have greatness inside of us. Keep moving forward, being that. The truth is, the world already knows that, right? We have to be committed to our vision, even without evidence. And that's what I think that he stood for. Without evidence, he had to be committed to his vision. And I think business owners today have to be committed to their vision about what it is. So many people want the guarantee. Like, if I go out and work hard, Chris, am I going to make a lot of money? No, I can't guarantee you that. You just got to go out and work hard and see where the chips fall. There's no evidence, but you got to be committed to it. Most people get hung up on their dreams. Most people get hung up on moving forward because they're like, oh man, I don't have the network. I don't have the money. I don't have time. I don't have the energy to do it. And I think that that's all kind of bullshit. Those are excuses. What you have to understand is vision, faith, and momentum will get it done. Vision, faith, and momentum will lead you to the success. Vision, faith, and momentum will be the things that are going to carry you. That's what needs to happen for success. That's what it needs to happen for business. I will tell you right now, fear, logistics, and failure will hold back somebody's vision, though. Fear, logistics, failure will always hold back somebody's vision. God, why can't people have faith instead of fear? I know people who listen to this, they've been developing that faith. They've been developing that they're not going to let fear push them away. That's always false evidence appearing real, man. I'm going to make my own things because what I understand is my vision needs to be way, way bigger than my fears. And if my vision is way bigger than my fears, then you know what? What's going to happen is your vision is going to be the thing that's going to fuel you, not the fears, your vision. Don't let anybody take away your vision and your dreams. They matter. They matter. Don't let anybody take those. We got to remember one thing. Like MLK said, we are some of the most powerful creatures. We've got to make sure that we continue to be clear about where it is that we want to go. We've got to be clear about our visions and our dreams. And we got to make sure that vision, faith, and momentum are the things that are going to get it done. And we cannot forget it. Today, go out there and win it. Remember, you're living life by design. You're not just living the life somebody else gave you. Remember, the secret is you. Thanks so much for tuning in. Thanks so much for being part of this. Thanks so much for being part of the tribe. Make sure you go up and subscribe. Make sure you continue to keep following. And again, have an unbelievable day, everybody. And don't forget, you are the secret.